Hi, friends. My name's Emmanuel, and I'm a second year medical student at McGill University in Montreal, Quebec, Canada. If you're new to the channel, welcome. One of the most common questions that I've been getting, especially recently, is how are you able to juggle all of these extracurricular activities while maintaining a full time medical student's coursework? So, I thought this would be a very interesting question to tackle in a video because it's not only relevant in medicine, it's relevant in anything you do in life. Okay, so let's talk about some of the things that I do outside of medicine. So, for starters, just to give you all some background context, so I was born in a Canadian Greek family, which means that there was a lot of Greek traditions, values, customs that were a big part of my life growing up. And some of those things included attending Greek school, attending church, and going to traditional Greek dance practices. So now that I'm older and I have, the choice to either embody that part of who I am or kind of distance myself from it, well, I'm very much a proud Greek Canadian, and a lot of the things I do outside of medicine revolves around the Greek community of Montreal. So some of those things include traditional Greek dance classes. So I'm part of multiple organizations. I'm a dance instructor at a few of them. And I was, at the time, before medicine, I was the president of one of them. So that's one thing. So another thing is that I am a very dedicated member of my church's youth group. I've been a part of it since it was created, and I'm always there to help and support. Even though I'm not necessarily part of the executive council anymore, I'm still very much present when I can be. Another thing I do is I'm the co-president of the McGill Hellenic Student Association, so there's that as well. I also tutor on the side. And another thing I do is that I was a co-founder of the Chit Chat program, which is something that I created with a couple of my classmates at McGill. And it's a listening platform for cancer patients where they get to interact with medical students and tell them about their journey, about their story. That helps us as medical students gain the perspective of the cancer patient, see where they're coming from, what they're thinking, what their struggles are, and kind of talk with them about all of these things. So these are a couple things that I do outside of medicine right now, but let's talk about how I'm able to manage that with my medical studies, of course. Okay, so one of the most important things in my life is to make time for the people and things that I love. That includes Greek dancing, of course. Another thing that I love doing in the summer that I didn't mention is soccer. So if I could get involved in a soccer team or just play for fun with my friends, I try to do that. And of course, making time for my friends, family, and loved ones, that's crucial for me to have that support system, especially when you're in a daunting program like medicine. But one important thing about all of this is that I set boundaries when it comes to my medical school, and my education, because if exam time is coming around, then I might need to take a step back from some of the extracurriculars that I'm doing to prioritize school, because the last thing I want to do is fail. And knock on wood, it has not happened yet, and I'm planning on it never happening. But the good thing is that McGill is a pass-fail system, which means that as long as you get over 60% in your courses, then you're good, you're golden. Now, I'm not saying aim for 60, I'm not saying I aim for 60, but it does alleviate some of that stress that other people have, let's say at other programs where it's not pass-fail and you literally feel like you have to compete against your classmates to be the top of your class. Well, here at the McGill, you're not the top of your class based off, you getting 100 and the other person getting 60. Well, the residency programs do not know that. What they do see is what you do outside of medicine, right? And for me, a lot of that is non-medical activities, although I'm trying to get more and more involved in some medically relevant activities as I'm trying to figure out what I like in medicine, and that's been moving forward. So one of the things that I do that helps me is I have a physical agenda, and I am very old school. There are many online calendars or agendas that you can use and programs that other people, some of my classmates use. Let's say Notion, for example, is one of them that I could think of off the top of my head, and other people, just their Google Calendars works for them. And that's great. If that works for you, that's awesome. For me, I like the physical stuff. when it comes to textbooks, when it comes to agendas, when it comes to studying for exams, I like writing stuff down because I feel like as I'm writing, I'm actively engaging in the content that I'm studying, and therefore I am actively learning the concepts, which helps me memorize and consolidate that information moving forward. Each and every one of us are different, so you need to find out what works for you. For me, I like to write. Other people are visual learners. Other people are verbal learners. I also like to talk to myself when I'm studying for exams, for example, and that helps me. But if you have trouble being organized, I think the least you can do to yourself, or do for yourself at least, is buy an agenda, or at least use one of the free programs or softwares you can find online to try and help yourself be organized, and not forget that you have an assignment due tonight at midnight, for example, right? That's the last thing you want, and I know a lot of people that have been in those situations, and it's not pretty. Don't be one of those people. Another thing that kind of helps me with my medical studies and whatnot is I suck at studying for long periods of time. Like, I can't do it. My brain just shuts off after a certain period of time. So what works for me is to study in bursts. For instance, let's say I'm studying a concept, I study it for an hour solid, right? After that hour, I take a break. A couple of minutes. Sometimes I procrastinate. It happens. We're humans, right? But ideally, I'll take like a 5-10 minute break, go drink some water, go eat something, go talk to my family for a little bit, and then come back, right? That allows my brain to kind of reset. Okay, so one thing that's really, really important that has allowed me to maintain, let's call it success in medical school, is the fact that I have balance in my life. What do I mean by this? It's obviously tempting to feel the need that in medical school you always have to study, sleep, maybe a little, study. But the reality is that I find that what has helped me succeed in medical school is the fact that I pursue interests and activities outside of medical school. So what I found is that taking some time for myself and pursuing activities that I'm interested in has allowed me to perform much better academically. Now, whether that's spending time with my friends, my significant other, my other family members, whether that's spending time going to Greek dance practice and blowing off some steam, whether that's going to play a pickup soccer game, or just go grab a coffee with one of my friends, these activities have provided me with a much needed mental break from medical school. And I think that by being more engaged outside of medicine, that allows me to bring a more well-rounded perspective when I'm in clinic or when I'm in the hospital. And I think that'll just allow me to grow and flourish as a future physician. And as someone who's very passionate about medicine, but also about the ability to do extracurriculars outside of medicine, I think many people fail to understand that having these diverse interests outside of medicine is actually an asset to you as a healthcare professional. So whether you're an accomplished dancer, a talented musician, or a superstar athlete, these different perspectives will allow you to connect with your patients on a different level than someone who doesn't do anything outside of medicine. All they know is what their textbooks told them. And pursuing your passions actually help you stand out in your application towards medical school or towards any kind of program. And I'm sure that when I'm applying for residency, I doubt that there's going to be someone out there that's going to have my level of involvement in the Greek community and dedicate as much time as I do into traditional Greek dance practices, for example. But you know what? That's what makes me unique. To kind of put this all together, balancing medical school and your extracurricular activities can be a very difficult task, but it's not impossible, right? With proper time management, organization, and prioritization, anyone can do it. So remember to make time for the people that you love. Remember to take time to do the things that you love. And remember to take mental health breaks. For me, my extracurricular activities are my mental health breaks. They also allow me to give back to the community, right? By going to Greek dance practice and preserving my culture and then showcasing my culture at different festivals, weddings, baptisms, wherever we're asked to perform, is my way of giving back to the community. As you go through your journey, whether it's medicine or any other field, remember that all of these activities that you do shaped who you are and brought you down this path to where you are today. So maybe it was an experience that you had with one of your loved ones that inspired you. Or maybe it's the fact that you want to make a positive impact in the world. Whatever that may be, use that as your motivation and help it guide you through the journey ahead. And remember, medical school is just one part, one chapter of the book that is your life. It's important to pursue activities that bring joy and fun in your life that are not medically relevant. Because by doing so, you won't only be a better healthcare provider by maybe connecting with patients on a different level. Maybe you enjoy playing golf and your patient does. That establishes a connection right there. So not only will it make you a better healthcare provider, it will also make you a happier and more well-rounded person. So that being said, this concludes our video, and I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you found something useful in this video. Let me know in the comments down below. I wish you all the absolute best in your journey, whatever that may be. Thank you, of course, for watching this video, and as always, I'll catch you in the next one.